Hey guys, Iowa Mining here. So today what I want to talk about is the power and kind of the reason why I'm actually putting these ASICs on the same shelf, but not right next to each other. Okay, why am I spacing these out? Why am I putting them in the spots that I'm putting them? Okay, so let's start with at the beginning. So this has to do with the power. Now you don't want to overload a PDU. You don't want to overload a phase. You don't want to overload a breaker. You know, so you have to keep that in mind. And the easiest way to explain it is if you raise the power equally on everything, then you less wear and tear on the product. You know, if it's a PDU or if it's wires or whatever. Also, it actually makes the power run more efficiently. Now, it's not a huge deal when there's not that many miners in here, but when this thing's getting close to half filled, running them equally will actually be way more efficient than not running it equally. So it'll actually start making more and more of a difference. And then once you're completely filled, then it changes into phase 2, which is making sure nothing's overheating, nothing's overpowered. Okay, so let's talk about how the power is broken down. So these are the factors you have to kind of keep in mind. So the wires come in from outside, and you can see these boxes here. I think these are called disconnect boxes or quick disconnects or something. So the idea is this is breaker number 1, breaker number 2, breaker number 3. Okay, so you don't want all the power on breaker number 1. You want to spread them out over between the breakers. Okay, so that's the first thing to look at. Second thing, so these wires are fed to each PDU. Okay, so they go to the PDUs, and then they come over to the PDUs. So each one of these represents a PDU. So if I have the power spread out, but then on each breaker I have all the power in one PDU, okay, I'm not spreading the power out on the PDUs themselves. Okay, so that's the second thing you got to think about. Okay, now the third thing is on the individual PDUs themselves. So there are 3 phase coming in. So there's 3 wires coming in, and then they're actually broken down into phases. Okay, now each PDU is different. So on these PDUs, the bottom 10 outlets is phase 1, the middle 10 outlets is phase 2, and the top 10 outlets is phase 3. So then you want to even out on the phases. So then not one wire or one phase on the PDUs is burning up, getting overheated and so forth. So you actually spread them out on the phases. So my original plan is I'm gonna always fill this spot here, okay, on each PDU, okay, except for this one. I'll talk about that in a second. So I'm gonna fill each one in the middle. So that'll be on each PDU's filled up. Each phase, it only has an ASIC on one phase, and then the breakers are split up. Okay, so it's even on all 3 breakers. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one on this bottom row here on the inside. Okay, so I'll put, the next step will be right here. Now this will be on what it'll be doing is it's going to be on the bottom phase. So phase 1. If the middle's phase 2, this will be phase 1, and then I'll fill these up as I go. Okay, and then I'll move to the top. Okay, and I'll put it on this shelf here. So I'll put it on this shelf here. So then there'll be a shelf in between, and it'll be on the top 3rd phase. And so I'll slowly fill up that way. So that's the plan. And then once I fill up, I'll go from middle to bottom to top, back to middle to bottom to top, and I'll slowly fill up. Okay. Now the next thing I got to keep in mind too is this middle breaker has 5 PDUs on it, so I'll have to break that up a little bit too. So that's when I get this first spot filled up, then I'll have to figure out how I'm going to do that. I'm going to do like every other one or something like that. I'll have to figure that out. So that's just the one little hiccup in my plan. But that's the general idea, is you want to even out all this power. You don't want all of it on one breaker. You don't want all of it on one PDU. And you don't want all of it on one phase on the PDU. Okay? You want to spread it out, less wear and tear on each individual item, product, or component, wire, PDU, whatever. And it also makes it more efficient. So then you're using that power, you're not wasting it I think that's what power factor kind of comes into place, is you're making the best use of this, okay? And so it'll be cheaper for me to run. It's better for your products because they're spread out too, which is an added benefit. So they're spread out, so then they're not getting as hot because they're not sitting right next to a bunch of other ASICs, at least not yet. And I have a less chance of burning something up, which can also burn up ASICs. So it's best practice to do that, have a plan, and follow the plan, and do the best that I can in stuff that I can control. It doesn't add any more work because I still have to cut the holes in, I still have to put it somewhere on the shelf, I still have to plug it in, I still have to do stuff to it, but just where I put it makes all the difference. So that's just something me and my business partner have thought about, we've planned for, and taken that extra step to ensure that your guys' product that you guys send to me is running as efficiently and as safe as possible. So hope you guys enjoyed that little explanation. I've been wanting to kind of explain that. I had mentioned it before, but I wanted to actually explain it in detail. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you guys are thinking about getting your ASICs hosted, contact me at contact@iowamining.io. Join my Discord channel, which is in the description down below, and send me a message. I also have my phone number on the website, so if you want to call me and talk to me, that is perfectly fine too. And let's just discuss what's best for you, how I can help you, and go from there. Thank you, gentlemen.